everybody, it's Cinnamon Cooney, your art Sherpa, and today we're going to be painting this delightful hummingbird with purple cone flowers. Doesn't that look like a lot of fun? It's going to be a really easy painting. It's wonderful if you're a new artist, and it's a lot of fun if you're a more confident artist, but one thing is for certain, it is colorful and delightful. I think we're going to enjoy it. On the mic today is my husband, John.
Hi, guys.
He runs the cameras and tracks me, and actually today is a very auspicious day over here in Sherpadom.
Why is it that?
Well, because we have a new tracker.
We do have a new tracker.
We have some new tracking systems.
We do.
Like Terminator on the Sherpa. It's just...
We're getting there.
We're getting there, so pretty excited about that. Super excited to share that. We're going to be doing this in acrylic paint. More information is always in the description below if you click it. And that's helpful. Traceable will be coming soon. Listen, never let drawing be something that stops you from painting.
Yeah.
Drawing is just an art skill like mixing or dry brushing. And some skills will come real quick and some skills won't. And that's just really not important to the overall art journey, I don't think.
No.
No? How are we doing today?
I'm good. Good. I have all the buttons pushed.
You have all the buttons pushed?
I have all the buttons pushed, and we're checking things out. You got you're putting to me your
paint out. I'm trying to get my paint out because I was a little behind. We're using a special material today.
Yeah.
It is actually, this is a pre-mini quest. This is a mini quest before the actual quest that's on Thursday. So people are going to actually get sent back here. We're going to be going over retarding mediums.
Yeah.
Right, in the quest, and I had purchased a bunch over time, grabbed a couple just recently when at Texas Art Supply, and found one I actually like. So we're going to be using it to help blend our background. So this is Grumbacher acrylic retarder for acrylic colors and mediums. I have a lot of feelings on slow drying agents, but this one I have some pretty okay feelings about, and it was honestly the one I bought just to have an alternative brand. Right? You ever do that where you're like, I should get an alternative brand. Don't have any feelings on it all, and then you're like, wow, this is really good. Now I have all these feelings.
Yeah.
And they're good, happy feelings, and I never thought. I'm going to be using brushes for acrylic, Simply Simmons, extra firm filament, because they help me on my canvas. I'm going to be on a 16 by 20 pre-gesso canvas with a lovely love you message from my husband. Thank you. I like when he does that. That's really sweet. These come in the value packs from Michaels, and they can be a little bit tenacious. In other words, for some reason, they resist painting.
Yeah.
If that happens, you can always gesso with a good gesso to correct it. If you find you're like in a pack and you're like, I keep painting it, but it won't paint, that's what happened. It's not you, it's the canvas.
Yeah.
We have some wishes today.
We have a lot of wishes today.
Can we pick like 3 or 4 of them?
We'll go through our wishes really quick today. Okay. So, real quick, we have a wish from let's see here. The very first one is for the guys up in Toledo of the Toledo Jeep Factory. I know that there's a lot of people who are worried about their jobs and what's going to happen up there. So we want to wish all of them, best, good luck in finding new employment and traveling where they got to do and keeping their families
everything
safe.
That you've got going on. Good luck to you. We wish you and your families well. I hope everything works out in the Toledo Jeep Company, and I hope that the decisions that are made there put people first. I'm going to put that. Put people before profits. I know that's a crazy statement. But that's a feeling that I have, that we need to put people before profit. Favorite wish I put into a canvas. Yep. I'm using watercolor pencil in purple, and I'm sketching in very lightly so that it disappears into the paint. If I were to do this in graphite, it would bleed through and ruin the painting. You can also write wishes on the back.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have another wish?
Yeah, I've got them all right here. We're going to put in another wish quickly for Angie. She's lost both her mom and dad. And for all the people who are suffering from loss out there, we want to help them with that.
Strength and support to get through. I hope you guys are surrounded by love, strength, and support in times of trouble.
For Kayla, who's suffering from depression, and all of those who are suffering depression with her.
Yeah, that is such a, that is a not understood condition. And what I'm going to put in here is that relief and hope. Yeah.
There's a lot of people in our audience. I see Shelly's lost some loved ones, and there's a lot of people wishing for that as well.
Yeah.
And also here, we've got a wish for Kaz, who's facing surgery next week and needs some help with bravery, because that's really working her nerves.
Okay, healing and bravery.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. I'm like that whenever I have to fly.
Now,
Just get a little punchy. Also, if I have to see the dentist.
and we'll put our last wish in there is for all the little brushes who are having to go into the hospital.
All the little brushes may have the best, kindest, funnest healers.
Yes. You know, I know Justin's going back in, and so that there's a lot of wishes for all the little brushes having to go back out there.
Hugs,
so big
Justin.
hugs.
Big hugs, Justin.
All right.
Ooh, so good wishes. I like the wishes today. You can put wishes in your canvas at home. You can write them on the back. They can be profound wishes. They can be silly wishes. All wishes are really valid, so I like them. I'm excited to paint today.
Yeah.
I am. I'm really excited to do this painting.
It's been. I've got Luna just came in here and jumped on my lap.
She's like,
I'm going to help today, is what she
she's
said.
like, I'm going to help. I'm going to put out my retarder, the acrylic retarder. Whenever you see something say retarder, what they mean is it just slows the drying time of something down.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put out a little glop of that. Looks like a clear gel.
Yep.
Really like this stuff. This one I actually like. So you're getting kind of a preview of it. And I'm going to start putting in my background. On my background, this lower part's going to be the soft green. And then we're going to blend into the purple. And that can be a difficult blend. However, with a little bit of planning, good transitioning, and the use of retarding medium, anybody can do it. So I think this is a really fun background to work on. I'm going to get my brush, a number 12, getting big here, a number 12 bright, extra firm filament. Nice and ready. This is about 1 inch wide if you're buying from another brand. And I'm going to take just a smidge, a scotch, a small itty bitty amount of my cad yellow. Oh, you know what? I forgot to tell people the colors. They probably want to know those.
You should do that.
I should. Today I'm using cadmium yellow, phthalo green, dioxazine purple, the Grumbacher acrylic retarder, titanium white, cad red hue, quinacridone magenta, and phthalo blue.
Well, that seems pretty good.
Yeah, I was happy with it. I'm going to come over and make a nice green here.
Mm-hmm.
Very little on my brush. See how little I have?
Yeah.
And how I'm pulling from the outside of the paint plop?
Yes.
And I'm going to get a lot of white. And I'm going to get a little of this retarding gel, which I like. And I'm going to start painting this on the canvas. And what I really immediately notice is, even though this canvas, again, these canvases fight back. They're like, I will not be painted. You can't make me do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This one is behaving. So I have really enjoyed that this actually made a difference. A lot of, well, I'm going to save it for the quest, but I have feelings on retarders.
Save it for the quest.
I'm going to save it for the quest. You don't get to know until then. You must quest with us to find out what I think about slowing dry times. So I'm pulling some more white. I'm really trying to make a very soft, see it's loaded on the brush there?
Mm-hmm.
Pulling a little of this out. And it's all just on a bead, right? And I'm just letting it work its way out on the canvas. And I'm getting, you can see, are you demoing the new camera?
We have all of our cameras set up. I haven't had to do anything special yet. But we have
Just
robot
let me know
hands.
when it is. I want to know.
It's up. It's all working. So you can show robot hands off.
Well, I would love robot hands to really zoom in and show how soft this blend is and how easy the blend is when I'm trying to get it.
Uh-huh.
Because I really enjoy that. I'm pulling just a little of my yellow.
You just tell me where now. I can do it.
I'm going to be
It's
right there.
Awesome. Hold on. We'll go over there. I have to.
Here, I'm going to blend right here.
Where?
Look at that. Right there.
All right, fine.
Did I do it wrong?
No,
My hat in the way?
zoom in.
But what's nice is I'm getting this beautiful seam between my paint. So this extends the paint time, extends the amount of paint. I have to use less paint when I'm painting with this particular one. And it slows the drying time down a little bit. So if I'm say in a very, very hot studio, this one actually helps me with that. I'm loving this. I'm kind of doing this in radiating brush strokes out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying it, to be honest. Well, I don't know why I would lie about something like that. That'd be a weird thing to be dishonest about. I'm going to come over here. And you can just see how it creates, you know how sometimes we have that brush stroke barrier?
Yeah.
Where we go painterly? But this is giving a beautiful blend. Now, it can make your paint a little more translucent, like a glaze.
Yeah.
But on this white paint, that's perfect. On this white canvas, that's not really a problem for us in any way. Right, and I'm just taking this up this. We're going to kind of have a nice little arc here of this green, and then we're going to blend the purple. It's going to be super fun. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
This is a really fun background. I feel like this is the quintessential spring background. Now, if you didn't have the dry mediums, right, it would just paint like we always paint. And you would just work hard to feather your edges between the two paint colors.
Yeah.
Right? You know, we've done this before without being spoiled.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been fine.
Oh.
We've gotten through. This is just another nice tool in the arsenal and gives us a very soft effect. So if you're doing this today, you have completed your mini quest for Thursday. Thursday people will find themselves back here. Hi, Thursday people.
You're time travelers and you don't even know it.
Exactly. It's fun, right?
It's so funny. The palette cam is zoomed way out, so you see the tripod legs like you'd never see them before.
Really?
Yeah, it's really rare.
Is it good though?
It's just funny because I normally zoom in a little bit. And it's
why are we zoomed out? The day.
The day.
The day.
I can come zoom it in.
We can come zooming in. You can come see it. The idea is to see what we're doing. Now I'm going to rinse out my brush. I'm going to try to get my yellow out. Is the color I really want to get out. Because yellow and purple are contrasts. And if I want to keep this picture bright, I have to balance out that contrast. So I'm going to pull a little of my... Oh, sorry. John's like, come on, hold on. I'm doing stuff here. And you know what? I don't have to be in as big a rush. Because I have slow drying stuff going on.
Slow dry medium.
Slow dry.
Slow. Okay, there it goes. See? I'm much more zoomed back in on here.
Are you?
See? It's much better.
So I'm pulling this white and the purple. And of course this medium. And I'm going to come work these two seams together. Isn't that amazing, John?
Hey, it
the
is.
Blend. So one of my tricks to getting this beautiful blend is where I'm weaving the two seams together, my pressure is very light so that I'm getting that nice effect. That's how I'm doing it. Pulling some of my gel, some of my white. Just working that nice effect, keeping that pressure really, really light. Trying to create the world that this beautiful hummingbird is in. I love this painting. I felt so inspired for it. It was just hummingbird season.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, in my opinion. It's weird, like as an artist, I'll start getting the itch to paint certain things. And I've had an incredible itch to do daisies or cornflowers. And as you guys might have noticed if you're following the schedule, I've worked that out.
Yeah.
Because both are happening. But it's weird. I'll just have this urge, like, oh, I've got to paint this. And I'm just, got too much paint on my brush. So I'm just going to wipe it off a little bit. You could rinse it out.
So so you just, if you get too much on there, you just wipe it off.
I just wipe it off.
All right.
Yeah, just got a little too much. Just a little too much. I'm blending it. Blending. Wipe where you can. I'm going to pull some more white.
Where are you going to go next?
I'm going to pull some more white. I think I'm going to keep working here. And I've got a lot of white. And I'm just going to make sure I refine the edge between these two spaces. Isn't that nice?
That is.
Just does a beautiful blend. And yeah, this would be fine with just regular paint. It'd just be like a radiating.
Yeah.
And you just work that. I'm going to get a little more purple now. So it's a little more purple up in the corner up here. I may even have to put some out. And again, between the firmness of the filament of my brush and the gel blending medium, this economy canvas has met its match.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. It has been put into submission. Been told what is what. Which is super fun for me. Like, that's right. You will be painted. I don't know if any of you guys ever feel like that when you're just with your canvas. You're like, what's going on here? You will be painted.
Now, which brush are you using?
I'm using the number 12 Bright by Simply Simmons.
And when you have a chance, can you hold that up against a number 10 to compare it?
Yes, I can. They're just a little bigger.
Now, if you don't have retarding...
Here it is.
Oh. Just, I mean,
Little.
It's more than a scotch bigger.
It's more than a scotch bigger. The bristles are longer.
It's almost 20% bigger.
It's almost 20%. We're going to quantify now. If you don't have drying medium, you can add a little more moisture to your paint. You could use craft paints or flow paints.
Yeah.
You can also use, and again, we're going to cover it in Quest, you can use just plain gel medium, which does slow down the drying time of the paint. Just blending my darker color. I think I want to go lighter than this.
Yeah?
Yeah. I want to be even lighter.
Even lighter.
Even lighter. This is a very spring painting, so I really want to stay very light in my color. I'm almost had to paint out the love you message. Thank you, sweetie.
Oh, no problem.
I really like those.
With a new camera setup the way it is, you can you can see the writing and all the contrast detail much more. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, it's
love improving the studio, don't you?
Oh, I do. We're getting there.
We're getting there. My weird clear glop.
Yeah.
It's a weird clear glop. It reminds me of, I feel like it's like what you get if you scraped tadpoles from their mucus.
That's so weird.
I'm just saying, you at home, if you get some, ask me if you feel it is also like tadpole mucus. Just saying.
So, thank you. I was I have to say thank you to everyone. I was just about to ask if the camera setup was helping anyone, and they were all, and just at that same time everyone was like, we love the new camera setup. So I was like,
do they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. I'm so glad you guys love it. And I was so good to see you guys for Art Game Monday.
Oh, yeah.
So glad to see you guys for this. Hope I will see you Saturday for our paint and on our quest. And of course tomorrow for our unboxing and review of unknown art materials.
Unknown art.
I'm just loving that. Doesn't that feel dramatic?
It does.
It does. And I might come and even soften this edge here. Rinse, 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 rinse. Rinse, rinse, rinse. And pull the water out. I'm going to get a little of my yellow. A little of my green. A bunch of my white. And some more of this gel. And I'm just going to kind of come between these two colors and even soften that blend. Look at that. This has been really fun for me. Here is a very soft, blended background, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that perfect? It has that out of focus feeling that we're all trying to get sometimes. We got it. We got it. Look at that.
You just keep going right off the page.
I do? Where's the page?
The canvas.
I mean, I'm on the canvas, so like I'm not over here.
It's a big canvas. I'm zoomed in.
It's a big canvas. It's 60 by 20. We should do a big canvas sometime. I'm going to have a sippy. I hope you have something nice at home to make your creative time special. I'm so glad you're giving yourselves time for your creativity. Isn't it nice? Take a deep breath and let the week out. Oh, I'm just doing this for me. Oh, letting the week out. Oh, I've had a week, haven't we?
We've had a crazy week, and it's only going more crazy.
my hat. I see my flowers sticking out there. It's like a little alien. And one last one.
There you are.
Oh, that feels better.
Yeah.
You guys have relaxing music to listen to, so I've got to find my center.
You don't have the music?
I don't have no music.
You hear it a little better now?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
Just
a little bit of calm. How's your calm?
Just a little bit on there.
How's your well-being? Are you taking care of you? Are you making just a little bit of time for you? It's important. My thing is that what I do here does restore me, so I'm very lucky.
Yeah.
Now, this actually still dries pretty fast, but I'm going to use a hair dryer to accelerate drying, which does work.
Oh, no.
You ready?
I am.
Can talk to everybody?
I am.
Be sweet.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, guys. So, first of all, I'd like to say thank you. Oh, my gosh. I just looked over there, and there are so many people here. There's like 275 people here. I would say thank you and welcome to all of you individually, but she isn't going to be drying that long. So what I'm going to say is I love everybody who's shown up. Thank you so much for coming. Please, please, please comment, like, subscribe, any of those little buttony clicky things that you can do to help YouTube know that you like what you see here and that you're going to come back for more. Wow. Thank you to all my moderators who are hanging out here with us. Really appreciate it. And yeah. Wow. Thank you guys. I'm just floored. We have 275 people just hanging out with us today.
I hope everybody's painting.
Yeah.
Actually, I know a bunch of people are on their phones because they send me messages. They're like, I can't paint today. I'm going to be on my phone at work. It's like, well, don't get fired. Stay safe.
Yeah.
So I have this wonderful, I'm going to show it to you again. You can always print out the final picture. I put these up on Pinterest so you guys can see them because that can help you get a painting done to be able to see that final picture, which always is included in the links below. And I'm going to sketch in my bird. Now, if this is the imaginary center point of my canvas from both sides, halfway and halfway right here in the center. Oh, look at my white chalk not showing up at all. I'm going to switch to a dark blue watercolor pencil.
All right.
You do something light, right? Or you can follow my traceable video to trace this on, right? And remember, you can print out the picture on paper and still trace it even before a traceable comes out. I'm going to come over a couple of inches from my dead center, and I'm going to make a little downward shape. See my little downward shape, John? It's kind of like a little smile, maybe.
Yep. I've just got to be careful because I was afraid you're going to draw off the page there, so I can leave it there.
I'm going to make a little upward thing that's the beak. And come up. The head's going to come up and be a little bit flattened out. And then this body happens and goes down off the tail. This reminds me a little of the 1970s partridge paintings.
Oh, I love those.
Right?
I
In
love
shape.
that partridge painting you did.
Nobody liked that, though.
I like it.
I know. I'm so glad you liked it. Somebody needed to like my partridges. Man, that one just fell like a dud, didn't it?
I tell you what, when I get a drum kit again, I want to pull that out and put it behind my drum kit.
It's a really funny painting. Sometimes you'll have a painting idea and you'll do it and you're like, this is the best painting ever. And it's like, you post it on social media and it's like crickets. It doesn't even get a like. Not even from people who support you for everything. They're like, oh, I can't support that painting. I cannot do it. So it just didn't do very well. It was designed for a painting party place I was working at. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to come behind the head.
Yeah.
A little bit, just below his little shoulder space. And I'm going to make a nice little arc up that I can follow later. That's his wing. And then I'm going to say he's got a second little wing that's also in flapping that comes off over here. That'll be important to us later. And the beautiful long arcing beak. This is very important because nature's worked very hard on giving these beautiful, colorful floral birds these beaks. And they're designed so they can get that nectar right out of the flower. Or out of your really cool red plastic thing hanging on your backyard. So you want to make sure that you give him that long arcing beak.
Yeah.
And all the rest of him is just expressed in brush stroke.
Gotcha.
So we're going to be using, now see, this is what happens to your brush if you leave it in water.
Multiple times.
Well, because every time I do that, it gets in and it swells and that cracks the coating off. I could tape it and do stuff with it. It's just really that I'm a mom and I have kids. If you're a mom and you have kids, or maybe you have furry children, you know, sometimes they pull you away from the studio at inopportune times.
But you've gotten pretty good mileage out of it.
I feel like I have. So I'm going to get it a little bit wet. This is a number 4 bright. Right? I'm going to do a video where I give you all the sizes of the Simply Simmons that I like.
Yeah.
That I think would be ideal for you to have. But this is a number 4 bright. And what I'm going to do, first thing I'm going to do, is I'm going to make my dark, dark, dark colors first, which is my purple here. I'm going to take a little blue over to my purple. A little bit of mixing here on the outside. I'm going to do an interesting thing.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to actually paint the underwing first.
Interesting.
It's the furthest object away.
You are doing something interesting.
So I'm on the edge of my brush.
Yep.
Right? I come up, kind of like eyeliner, kind of like that. And then as I come out to the end, I flick out. And that's how I get that nice tapered edge.
Oh.
I'm going to pull a bead. We talk about this a lot. See the bead?
Yes.
I'm going to pull a bead on that brush. And then I'm going to do this neat thing. I'm going to plant my brush on the flat in my wing and flick out.
Ah.
That's all I'm going to do to talk about this wing. As I'm flicking out, the flicks will get a little longer, right? It's okay to even add a little white to get some stroke dimensionality. Not a lot. Just a little bit to show some of the depth of color, right?
And there's this, it's, I like the,
just that. That's all we're saying on the wing. That's all we're going to say there on that wing. And we're going to have this wing here. This wing is going to be peeking out. This feather should be the longest.
Yeah.
There's going to be another layer of paint. Right?
Yeah.
Going to be another layer of paint there. Go ahead and grab just a little white and pull it into that purple mix that you've had. And just come here and just real quick flick out some color. Because these guys are shiny.
Yeah.
They're so shiny. I'm going to get another of that blue and purple mixture that I like.
Now, are you using any of the blending fluid there?
I am not. Because
You're
this is
not.
more of a dry brush technique. The
Interesting.
blending was really fantastic for this background, but now I want my paint to be dry.
I see.
And that gives me the effect that I want. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come along right here at the end of the tail. And I'm going to flick down. I'm going to curl around here. And then arc the stroke a little bit to the right. And that's his tail. His tail is catching wind. What he's actually doing right now in flight, so weird that I know this. What he's actually doing right now in flight is slowing his progression with his tail. He's using his tail to slow his movement.
Huh.
And so that's why all those feathers would be fanned out and down.
Yeah.
A little bit like that. The longest strokes will be right there. And they're going to get a little shorter as they come over here. A little shorter. He's actually really easy to paint in. Was one of the things that makes him sort of a lot of fun. Now I'm going to come here and pull some just blue and a little white. Blue. Right. And this wing here, I'm going to go over. I'm going to make that first stroke up. And here's the wing that's in front of the back wing. And it's blue. See how that layering pulls it forward?
I do. Oh. So Sandy just brought something up in chat that I was talking about here the other day. And that was in what was it, in 1968, 1969, who was bigger than the Beatles?
Oh, I love this one.
It was the Monkees.
The Monkees.
Yeah.
I love them.
I thought that was great.
I definitely contributed to that. I was a helper of that metric. Love them. Love their show.
Not at that time, but
1978?
68.
68. Nope.
68. 68 and 69. So.
No, I was catching reruns then.
Yeah, we were, yeah.
So see how these two wings are right there? You know, they're giving that layer. So now you put those in, right? You've done some really great stuff. Rinse out your brush really, 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 really well. It's fun to do. And you're going to take a little of your yellow and your quinacridone. A little more yellow. You want 2 more yellow? And here's the crazy part. You're going to scotch in a little green to that orange you've made. And it grays it just a touch. And you're going to come along the back here. And you're going to pull that down about a 1/2 inch. It's okay that some of the blue is picked up, because we're going to come back with a highlight color. It's going to pick that up. Now you may need to come back. I think we're good.
Yeah.
And add a little feather there.
Now I want to say happy birthday to Paige. I saw that coming by.
Happy birthday, Paige. Happy birthday to Paige.
And we're going to send some hugs to Cheryl, who's out there going through some medical today.
Oh, Cheryl, I hope you're feeling better. I hope your spirit is in this hummingbird today and you're just feeling better. I'm going to come down from the wing.
Okay.
On the belly. I'm going to make a little curve. And I'm going to paint in all the rest of this with this blue. And I'm going to kind of curve my strokes. There might be a little white in my paint. I'll add sometimes a little white unmixed in so that my brush strokes have some dimensionality and streaking to them.
So Michael Ann had a question.
Hi, Michael.
And she says, let's see here.
Or is it Michelle?
I'm pretty sure it's Michael Ann.
Okay.
I think last time when I said Michelle, she said, no, it's pronounced Michael.
Okay, Michael.
And I was like, okay. So that was like, she'll have to correct me or he'll correct me.
We'll
that
get
was
it
like,
fixed.
It was a couple videos ago.
I think it's probably like more important that we answer the question, right?
get to the question.
No, I'm just saying.
No, I'm sure
that's probably like the pertinent thing.
No, they're
So I'm just brushing this in.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just saying. You know how you get to talking.
Yeah,
no. Now I'm just brushing this in while you're asking the question. Just brushing that in.
So can you use gel matte medium in place of blending gel or glaze medium? Going to Michael's right now and can only afford to get one.
If you can only afford to get one and you're gonna need a glaze, you're gonna have to get like a gloss or glaze.
A gloss or a glaze?
Yeah, because the matte is matte and it tends, so it's going to dry the paint flat, and sometimes it's a little bit opaque. So if you're looking for your paint to get more translucent and glossier, right, then you're going to get in the gloss or glazing mediums. If you want to add pigment into it but not have it be translucent and not have it dry shiny, then you're going to want the matte.
That makes sense.
Just in everything that whenever you're looking at any of the mediums, it's going to be gloss, semi-gloss, matte. And that'll tell you how see-through it's going to be, and it'll tell you how shiny it's going to be.
Yeah.
Which, if you're varnishing at the end, can be real funny, because you'll see people use all this matte stuff, and then they varnish gloss. You're like, well, what was that? What was that? Now I'm going to pull a little more of my blue. Little more. And I'm going to come up along his head here. They each all seem to have, they have kind of similar markings, but then they're all a little different. Because, I love what our community says. Our community has a saying, which I think is maybe the best humanitarian saying I've ever heard.
Oh, yeah?
The only normal in my life is on my dishwasher.
It's a button on my dishwasher.
It's a button on my dishwasher. I feel like that needs to be a shirt.
I may have evoked some Beatles fans. Yeah. So I found the corrected statement to make sure I was clear, and it was that the Monkees records outsold both the Beatles and the Rolling Stones combined in the years 1966, 1967.
Okay.
So
we didn't mean to mess with you.
No.
It's all right.
It wasn't. It wasn't 68 and 69. It was 66 and 67.
It's okay. You're okay.
But we love the Beatles too.
We
it was
do.
I liked the Monkees. They had a Monkees car.
I like the Monkees too. I'm with you. I'm making a very, 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 very light green here. Very light green. Very to the yellow.
To the yellow.
To the yellow. And I'm going to fill in the rest of this space with this bright, bright color. Now, one thing you can do if you have student paints, right, and you're having trouble getting coverage, one thing that you could do is paint in your bird white first. And that will help brighten your color. Oh, I picked up a little blue. I'm not even worried about it, though. Because it's layers. Paintings are about layers. Just putting in the yellow here. Putting in the yellow. Each of these little guys will feel a little different.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have a little different energy. And I like that about them. All right, now one thing I'm going to do on the wings is I'm going to give these wings some energy.
Yeah.
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little white and a little blue. I'm going to mix a bead, but it's not going to be mixed together. See how that is?
Yep.
And I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to just color these feathers just a little bit. Just a little bit. And I'm going to do the same on this tail. A little blue.
Just a little bit.
A little white. A little blue. Unmixed again. That bead.
Oh,
No, I mean, it's just...
you're so fast.
Am I?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Although I have to say, the robot cam can get close up on your brush stroke too now.
Oh, I love RoboCam. And when we get digital zoom, we are... Uh-oh, I lost too much of my purple, guys. So if you lose too much of your purple like I just did, just go back and get some purple, on a bead on there, and come back and put a little bit of it back in. Make it a little white so it really shows. Right? See that there?
Yeah.
I'm just putting it back in because I lost it.
Whoa! They said I just clicked over and there was 300 people here.
300 people.
Wow! Hi guys.
People like them some HummingBirds.
Wow! Thank you guys for joining us.
300 people. Woo! How you doing today?
It's nice to have you here.
Wake up, so I'm not all breathy on you.
How's it going?
That's crazy. I love that many people are ready to paint. I love that.
Oh, here's a good question.
I got a good answer.
How do you mix Passamaquoddy pink?
You don't.
Magenta?
You can get it, you can use magentas and get a nice bright pink, but the Perros, the quinacridones, a lot of these colors are chemically created and are not really that mixable. You can get close, right? But you're not really going to mix a cad orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. That's why sometimes it's worth to get the paint. But that doesn't mean you can't get a vibrant pink that is satisfying in the same way.
Gotcha.
Right? You can mix that with a little. I'm going to say it's a little crimson and a little bright light cad yellow and maybe a little white. But I'm not doing it right now. So.
What are you doing?
I'm going to come in and I'm going to add. You know what I want in here? I do want a little my Passamaquoddy pink in this purple. So I've mixed a little purple, a little white, and I've grabbed a little Passamaquoddy pink.
What is that actual color called?
Sorry, quinacridone. You mess with me, John. It's quinacridone magenta.
I just can't pronounce it, so I call it Passamaquoddy pink.
I'm going to give him a little belly highlight. Little belly highlight. His feathers are shining. His feathers are shining. And he's just a happy little bird. I'm going to take this color right here, just a little bit of purple, a bead of purple, a little bit of white, and a little bit of quinacridone like this. And I'm going to just come along his little head here and add a little bit of that. Isn't that just lovely? And then maybe a little stronger along the beak. The wonderful thing about this, guys, is this project is incredibly forgiving. Incredibly forgiving. When you put them together, the brush strokes and everything about it, it just works itself out.
It does.
It really does. I'm going to take a little of my quinacridone and my cad yellow and a little white. I'm trying to get a kind of bright orange here. And I'm going to come here along the back. And I'm going to add this vibrant color right here. A little bit. Having fun with that, right? Having a little fun. And I'm going to do a similar one, just a little more to the yellow on the wings. This is somewhat translucent, so the wings will kind of show through underneath. We get a little white on there. And I'm going to tip these wings to, I need more pink. With a little bit of that color. And then maybe a little bit across that purple. Look at that right there. Isn't that lovely? Just a little thought, a little
Very
idea.
nice.
I'm going to grab a little of this. Little yellow, a little quinacridone, a little white again. And I'm going to come between the seam between the green and the purple. And I'm going to, on the corner of my brush, just dab in a little bit of this color. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Now, I might even add just a little here, just a touch. Now rinse it out. Rinsey, rinse, rinse. I'm going to mix a very strong orange with these two colors. And I'm going to come under the wing here. Like that. And I'm also going to take this very strong orange and maybe add a dab of that right there. So that's really nice. Right?
Yeah.
Fun stuff. He's almost done. Really, we've got beak,
Yeah.
which I'm going to put out a little of my black. And I'm going to need a detail brush. Just a smidge of my black. And I think for my detail, I'm going to grab a number 6 Filbert.
Okay.
Because it has a very sharp point.
So how many hoots would you say this is?
This is a hoot.
This is a hoot.
This is a hoot.
It's a little more than half a hoot.
It's a little more than half a hoot, but it's still a hoot.
It's still a hoot.
I added a little yellow to my gray.
Why'd you do that?
So that it was just a little brighter.
You want a bright gray?
I want a yellowed gray.
Oh.
Because it'll give a nice tone under the beak. And I'm going to make sure my hand is not dirty. And I'm going to paint this whole structure in with this darker color. I might even use some of my blending because I want it to smoothly go off my brush.
So it's a one hoot painting now.
It's a hoot.
It's a one hoot
It's
painting.
going to go into my one hoot category. Unless I hear from a lot of people like, it was the most traumatizing thing they ever painted and then it may be upgraded. Because sometimes I'll be like, oh, that was fun. And people are like, that was not fun. I barely survived it.
Do you know how hard it is to get a beak to taper like this?
Well, I'll tell you exactly what the trick here is.
Yeah.
Is lighten your brush pressure. Small brush, lighten your brush pressure.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I guess probably practicing on maybe your palette paper.
Yeah. I'm going to go back and get a little of my yellow and pull in just a smidge of my green so I get a very bright green again. Maybe I'll grab a little white this time. I'm going to come along the bottom here. Make sure that this is incredibly bright. And then I think maybe at the top here, add a little dot of that. It should be more to the yellow.
More to the yellow.
More to the yellow. And now I'm going to come in and get some just my green, my phthalo green, right?
Yep.
And I'm going to dab between these two spaces, little dashes like this. We're almost done with him.
Wow. I just glanced over and we have 320 people with us now.
That's 320 people.
They just keep, how you guys doing?
How are you doing today? I hope you're arting.
We just love that you guys come and join us. So, and Cinnamon
paint.
can't see, so I like to tell her what's going on.
Yeah, I never know what's going on.
She never knows.
So I've just added a little green between these two spaces, and now we have him in. This is this beautiful, I don't know, probably a hummingbird expert could tell me exactly what varietal of hummingbird this is. I just was like looking through reference pictures on Paint My Photo, and I kept liking the same hummingbirds again and again and again. That's all that happened to me. I'm going to make sure he's dry. I'm going to hit him with the hairdryer real quick.
Oh, okay, hold on. Shoo. Okay, so while she's away, I'll say thank you guys for all coming and hanging out with us today. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and give thumbs up. And big hugs to all of our moderators out there that have been helping out today, and to all of the community. And guys, thank you so, so much. Really, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with us while we're doing all this. So, and she's back.
I'm back. You're always so panicked when I'm gone.
There's your bird.
There's my bird. So I'm going to get my detail brush, my number 2 Filbert. You could use a small detail round. Any brush that gives you a lot of control over your paint. I'm going to come back above the beak here into sort of where the orange is to the purple, and I'm going to drop a small round circle.
I thought you'd be working something.
It is about smaller than the top of most tacks. So it's a small, here it is in relationship to my finger now. So it's a small round circle. Right?
Yes.
I'm going to let that dry for just a couple seconds. And I'm going to take a bunch of my yellow over to my gray. Goo.gl. And then add a little white to it.
You look over in the other room and you see all the furniture laid over. It's like, Luna is adventuring.
That is never good. And I'm going to, and this is, if you can get the up-close camera on this, it'll be really helpful.
Yeah,
So what I'm going to do is I want to leave the lower part of this beak a little bit gray. And I'm just getting the top highlight of this with this brighter color.
So how D is asking a question.
I would be happy to answer D's question.
How do you how do we safely store a varnished painting so that one that they can dry and not stick together?
Yeah, they do. And if there's any heat, you try to accidentally stuck all the paintings together once.
I learned this.
That's when he learned that they blend. My honest advice to you is when I store them, once they're varnished and they're dry, I just make sure they're in a cool, not hot place where they'll remerge and they're sort of back to back to back. If you're really, really trying to be careful, you can wrap them in tissue.
Yeah.
You can just do a tissue wrap around them, not bubble wrap, not plastic, a tissue, and that will help them not stick together. And if you're really, really concerned, you can go to the Golden website, and they will give you the most historically accurate, perfect way that the Smithsonian would store a painting. And probably from that, you can get some very good advice in your situation how you might store a painting, though you may not take it to the level they do.
Yeah.
I've gone back and gotten some black here, and I'm going to just create a very thin little, tiny, tiny line. Just a little bit of one. Come back and get my yellow with my white, just a little bit, little bit, little bit. I love when it's little bits. And I make just a small highlight under the line. Not all the way down, just a little bit.
Oops.
Can you see that?
I can now.
You can now. So it's just a little bit right there. He's almost done. You'd be like, all right, I'm good. HummingBird. I don't even care about purple color and flowers. And you could be like, your painting might be done right now. I'm going to come here. This is very important. In the eye right here, I'm going to make a little dab of reflection. And then I'm going to make a very thin little white outline around his eye. Can you see that?
Totally see it.
All right. That's very important. There we go.
Wow.
That is your HummingBird. You guys ready to cornflower?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cornflower.
Cornflowers are so cool. All right. So purple coneflowers are like some of my favorites. So now you can pre-sketch. If you're not feeling confident about your lines, you could pre-sketch a line in of your two stems. But I'm going to grab a little of my green.
Yeah.
With just a smidge of my blue.
So.
Smidge of my blue.
What are your thoughts on using gel to varnish with?
Gel medium and varnish, it's a good idea. Gel itself is not a good varnish because it doesn't actually create the seal required. It's more of the polymer that is used in the paint. So the same issues with the paint exist within the gel about it being porous and attracting dust.
Mm-hmm.
Gel medium and varnish, however, has a slightly different formulation, so it's sealed up and it does protect the painting from dust.
Gotcha.
So not so much a feeling. It's just some info. So I pulled a nice green. I've got it on my brush. I'm going to just take a nice little brush stroke up here.
Okay, hold on.
I want it to be above my bird.
Hold on. Wait.
You ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to plant this. Oh, this is annoying me. All right. I don't mind my hair there. And I'm going to just very nicely and lightly curve this down.
Ooh, you're going too fast.
Right? Well, because you're trying to follow me?
I'm trying to follow you. I was like,
that's so cool.
Ooh, let me do this. Let me zoom it out a little bit. And then there we go. Now I can see you.
I'm using the edge of my brush, and I'm not worried about a perfect, solid, weird little line. Actually, I don't mind that it's a little bit kind of open and crazy. Interestingly enough. And now I'm going to do another curve right here. Let me see. I want to get the exact curve here.
I'm going to try to get the whole length of the curve this time.
Yeah. And I'm going to kind of curve it down like this. Oops, I got a little thick there. And that's okay. Now I can come back with a light color and thin it out. I can come in with some water and thin it out too. Like I'm like, don't like this line.
Yeah.
I can do this because my paint is very dry. If your paint is not pro paint, this will not be fun for you. Don't do it this way. If you're in student paint, what will happen is all your paint will lift back up.
Oh, will it?
Mm-hmm. But if you're painting pro paint, this is one of the benefits of pro paint, is I can, if my painting underneath is dry, I can kind of do that lift and not be as worried about it.
Kind of flub it.
Yep. And I like that. So the leaf, I'm going to get maybe a little cad red, a smidge, right, into my green here.
What does that do?
It grays it out and deepens it and makes it seem more like a sap green. And I'm going to take a stem up like this at an angle. And then I'm going to just drop my little leaf shape down like that. I'm going to paint it in very loose. Right? We don't want to suddenly be like very structured in our plant painting when we've been very loose with our hummingbird painting. That would be very weird.
Yeah.
Visually. Okay. I'm like, erg. I'm going to do another little stem up here to drop a leaf off, and another little stem up here to drop a leaf off of. And how I do these is I just kind of make sure that they're in a regular shape, that they're tapered at the edge, you know, and they're kind of almost that cartoon leaf shape that you think of with leaves. And I'll take this one down. There's going to be several layers of paint here, so. All right. Now I'm going to come up and make my cone, which is going to be a little of my phthalo blue into my cad red. A little, not like a lot. I got a little crazy there.
Mm-hmm.
Happens, right? I'm going to come up above my stem a little bit, and I'm going to make this little sort of bullet or lipstick shape, right?
Wait, if you're doing, wait. Okay.
Little bullet or lipstick shape. And then right down here,
Okay, hold on.
way down here,
Hold on.
I'm going to make another right over the stem bullet or lipstick shape. And this one's going to be a little bigger than these two because this flower is closer.
Got it.
Got it. It's fun, right?
Yeah. So now if you've got a dent or a pull in your canvas, right,
Oh.
leaning on something.
Okay, if you've got a dent,
Yeah.
your best bet is to turn it around, get a mister, mist the back, and let it dry somewhere slightly warm
Yeah.
and dry, and it will re-stretch the drum.
That'll pull it back out.
Yep.
Gotcha.
If that doesn't work, you can try using those keys to re-square and re-stretch the drum, like a combo, both of those things. If it's punctured, you're going to need a patch kit. Just things you might not know. The more you know. But you can patch a canvas. So I pulled a nice bright green, maybe a little white there. And I'm going to make sure that on my little leaves, I come on this outside and I add these little strokes and maybe just a little bit of thought right there. Right there, come there. See how I'm leaving a lot of the green showing underneath?
Yeah.
I'm being very light. Okay. Another thing I might want to do is take this yellow, and this might be actually one of the more challenging things. It's just kind of very loosely. See how I'm just multi-directional here?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the most challenging part for people during the painting, believe it or not, is this part where we just kind of imply that there's some greenery that's off focus in a way. And I'm going to come along the stem with a highlight of green, leaving my dark green showing underneath. Just creating some multi-dimensionality. Right? If you need to switch to a smaller brush, go ahead and do it. We're almost done.
That's so awesome.
Isn't it really awesome? This next part's super fun. Super, super, super fun. We're going to take a little of my purple and a little of my quinacridone red and mix them. And a small amount of white. Not a lot, because you want it to be a fairly dark color. I'm going to wipe off my square bright here.
Okay.
And I'm going to load up my brush. It's a double load. So it's a bead on both sides.
Oh, we get a pair. Oop,
If you like this, boy, are you going to love the
Okay.
daisies when they come up.
All right.
And then I'm going to plant it firmly and just brush stroke down in a flick. Load up when you need to. Cover up your green stem. Curving my petals out. Right? Curving them out. Curving them out. Okay, I'm going to come down here and do a similar thing. I'm going to moisten my brush, but only because my studio is hot.
Yeah.
And it really, really dries out my paint. That's why I'm like so crazy about blending mediums. Is because they've really got to work here. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to pull these down. And it's a flick. And that lightening that pressure and curving that flick creates that brush stroke.
Yeah.
So I press in, flick. You can practice this on scratch paper if you're not feeling, paint this into that solid, if you're not feeling confident in that maneuver.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to do a maneuver like we're flight test over here. But you don't have to do something that you're like, wow, I'm not ready for that. You don't have to do that. Now, this one is going to be a little bigger. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go right over the stem with it. This is a bigger guy. He's up closer. That's what he is. He's up closer. And so this is size relationship. This is illusion we create on the canvas by making some objects smaller and some objects bigger and then layering them over each other. Feels like this guy is right there. And I rinse my brush, or even change brushes.
Yeah.
Because the purple will gray out what I'm going to do next.
Now,
I really rinsed mine out. And I'm going to take a little of my cad red over to visit my yellow and make a bright orange.
now Rydan is...
Hi, Dan.
Rydan.
Rydan.
Rydan, I think.
Hi, Rydan.
So I think she's having trouble overcoming some imperfection tendencies, some perfectionist tendencies.
Right.
And it's really, she wants to paint, but scared that she's going to ruin it. Do you have any advice for that, for some of the people?
Yeah. One, nothing wrong with being a perfectionist, because when you guys find that balance, you make some beautiful technical artwork. Definitely make your space safe and secure. And do realize that the perfection is the completion.
Yeah. Right?
Paintings are kind of by their nature a little imperfect, and it's a good space to work all that energy out.
Yeah.
I think what happens sometimes, like perfectionists, like, I can't get painterly, I can't relax. Well, maybe that's not you, and that's okay. Maybe you want to tighten your brush strokes. Maybe you want to be more technical. Mm-hmm. It's all right. You know, and you can always experiment with some crazy loose thing like the drip abstract flowers and then be like, I hate it. And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's just got to be okay when it doesn't reach your ideal. Because a lot of times what it is perfectionists are visualizers. They can see it and feel it. And they know it's good. And they know what it can be. And when physical limitations or circumstances interfere with that, they find that very frustrating.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But, I mean, that's how, you know, beautiful structures get built. That's how wonderful paintings get painted. So it's still a good thing. You've just got to breathe it out. And you don't have to show anybody anything you don't want to show them. Right?
Yeah.
It's not paint by committee. If you don't want to show it to the peanut gallery doesn't need to see. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I've got my bright orange here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right here. And I'm going to create sunlight. Right? And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to go on the corner of my brush and dab. You kind of did this if you did Monet with me a little bit on the left-hand side. Look, just a couple dabs. And then maybe a little around here, dabbing. I'm going to rinse that out. I cannot believe how close to done we are.
Wow.
Right. Now I'm going to get some, I've got just enough. I might have to pull out some more white, but some very like light yellow with white. And just right on top here, just a couple little highlight dabs. I don't feel like Am I going fast?
You go back to the top and the camera isn't there yet.
So I'm just okay. So we got to get used to new robot hands.
Well, just.
Are you there yet?
I'm there.
Okay, I'm gonna come down here.
Okay.
All right. So then we're gonna just dab down there just a little bit, and then at the bottom corner, just give that just a little bit of slightly higher highlight. Rinse, 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 rinse. We are literally maybe a minute to 90 seconds from completion. I don't know what I'm counting down today.
It's a countdown to done.
I think sometimes it's nice to know because you're like,
hold on.
all right, you let me know I'm ready to go.
Okay.
I've loaded up. Can you see the load?
I can see it.
All right, so we're just going to dab right there. And I'm going to come here with the pure. I'm letting some of the dark still show through, right?
Yep.
And then I'm going to come right here. There we go. A little dark. Isn't that beautiful?
It is.
It's just really nice. And here's the fun part. Rinse, 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 rinse. I may need to put out a smidge, a small amount of white, because I've just been going through my white.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to say hello to Little Brush Levi.
Hi, Little Brush Levi.
Who's watching with us today.
Hope you're enjoying your cone flowers, your purple cone flowers. I'm going to take a small amount of my purple over and quite a lot of my quinacridone magenta. So it's a little, much more to the red. I'm going to pull a lot of white into this. So here's my load, double side bead, just like before.
All right, now hold on, wait.
I'm waiting. I've got it.
It goes up slowly. Okay.
Okay.
There.
No, we've got it worked out. And pull these colors down. If you need to pull in a little more pink, go ahead and pull it in. Got a little crazy with my pink there. And you're painting the lighter petal color over the top. All right. A little more Passamaquoddy pink or quinacridone pink. Just see those petals take dimension?
I do.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes. I'm going to do some here. We got into some daily. We're done.
You're done?
We're done.
Wow. That's great.
How do you feel? Do you have it? Do you love it?
Yeah.
Are you like, why isn't all our artwork like this? I owed you guys one after dabba 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 dab. And I'm going to take you back to Monet and you're going to be like, dabba 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 dab. So every once in a while I like to give you one that's just beautiful and well designed and that you can paint. I really hope to see these on Facebook and on the ArtSherpa page, www.artsherpa.com.
They're revolting. They're saying you're not done.
I'm so done.
They say you have to. We're not done. They want more.
I know.
They're gonna lock the doors on you in YouTube land.
You gotta. I know you guys, and we're gonna see you tomorrow.
We love you guys.
We love you so much. You guys be good. Take care of each other. I'm gonna see you tomorrow. We're gonna do Sketchbox.
Yeah, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, thumbs up, all that lovely stuff
and
in there.
share the
We're
art.
supposed to ask. I keep forgetting to do it. Yes, share
the
please,
art.
Please post your pictures up. I want to see more hummingbirds. Love it.
Love it. Thank
All right,
you.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.